pretend now. Wasn't never enough to have just everything you want. In your shadow I found a place to hide me from my own thoughts. And if I ever got lost, you'll find a way to bring me home. And I want something I can hold, that's worth this waiting cold. And I want something that is real, You wanna know my feelings every time I look in your eyes. Baby, I can feel your energy, it's making me realize everything we've been through makes us strong enough. You and I, everything we've been through makes us strong enough. You and I, you and I.
Hello, everybody. Okay.
Oh. I think we're a bit zoomed in here, Fade.
Hold on. There we go.
Oh, perfect.
Anyway,
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the RFDL podcast. I'm Ecliptic Fades. I'm joined by Airlax, Docky, Firesqueak, and for some reason, Cookiecat is also here.
Let's crash the go.
Okay,
Welcome in,
Cookie.
everybody.
All right, welcome.
Welcome, Cookie. How are you all doing tonight?
We're doing.
Can I get cuddles?
I'm feeling
RFDL
fantastic.
RFDL After Dark is on Saturday, Cookie. Calm down.
It's not after dark. We're just cuddling. There's nothing.
Okay, so
Whatever your fantasy.
okay, we're already off the rails. It hasn't been a minute, and we're off the rails. Okay, guys, week 4 is passed. There are some teams that are up high. There are teams that are not so up high, but everybody, I hope, is still having a fun time with the league. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the matches that we had last week. As I pull up the master sheet so I can remember what matches we actually played. We had quite a few of them go to Game 5 this week. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I loved it.
It was good.
I mean, I think a lot of teams are kind of finding their rotations, finding their play style, and all the teams are getting more and more competitive with each other. So, always good to see.
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Really
So
This is
anyways,
what-
commentary.
Can I just
Fade.
mention like there's always in a league standpoint, right? You always have to expect that first week or two to be like kind of like a bumpy ride, right? With my team, we obviously got kind of like partially lucky, but we're also locked in at the same time to have a great start. Every other team's gonna have either a great start or a horrible start to a league. I think what we're seeing is that after those 2 weeks, everybody's getting like used to each other. They're getting ready, and now we're getting to the second halves of the first month that we've been playing so far. You're starting to see a pattern where you're gonna have teams that are gonna do good and teams that are gonna do bad. Not saying anything about my team at all.
What is that?
Definitely not.
No, I'm not gonna. Yeah.
I'm just yapping.
Okay.
Honestly, I do have to kind of agree there. I definitely think that we're starting to see some patterns for some teams. I think there have been a lot of bumps in the road, which, when do I run an event and or a league where that is not the case? We've had quite a few people get moved out in and out of rosters due to many different things. So I think that there's also like not a huge pattern with some teams just because they've constantly had to switch out and they haven't really had that time to get the feel for one another. But there's also some teams that are, just finding out that, maybe their ideas weren't working as well as they might try to. They've been trying to come up with some improvements. I think everything is still super close, and I think any team can still take matches off the other. And we're gonna take a look at this first game, for example, of last week, which was Twisted Tales and Fox Clan. And I really wanna talk about Twisted Tales because they play an incredible game. They always do. It's just that last moment something goes wrong and they end up taking the L. And honestly, I feel like a lot of their series, I definitely think that they are better than an 0-4 team. I think that they have the potential to be in the top half of the league. It's just that final thing just hasn't clicked for them just yet. And I'm really just waiting to see that moment because once they do, I really think they're going to be a dominant team in the league.
Yeah. I mean, I said that last week, even when they lost that series, is that they have to be like one of the unluckiest teams. They get really close, they play really well, and then unfortunately, they fail at the very last second. And most recently with what was kind of a crazy pinch. That just was really unfortunate. And yeah, like they've had how many, like 2 straight now, or I don't know if it's been straight, but at least 2 Game 5 overtimes.
Yeah, they've had 2. They had one in week 1 and one in week 4.
Yeah, so I mean they play really well. They've gotten a little bit unlucky.
Yeah.
And I think their players are improving. So it's rough, but they seem to be having a fun time with it. So they're fun to watch. It's been unfortunately just really unlucky.
Yeah, I completely agree. They've just been really, really unlucky with just everything, really. And again, kind of mentioning just like that like last second pinch right at the end of the game is just you gotta feel for them, honestly.
I mean,
Y'all saying unlucky, but like honestly, I think they cooking. Like something's cooking in that kitchen, and y'all just ain't ready for it. Like it might be a
that's what I think.
long-term cook, but I'm saying, bro.
here's the thing. Look at Twisted Tail's opponents. They played both the current number 1 and number 2 seed in the league right now, I believe. And or no, have they played X3? I might be mistaken.
Cloud9. They played
Fuck.
Black Bunny, Cloud9, and then
Fox Clan.
Dignapause and Fox Clan. So still pretty high up
Okay.
there.
Yeah, I mean, Dignapause, Fox Clan, 2 teams that have looked like some of the stronger ones in the league, for sure. Fox Clan, since that week 1 performance, they've been just on fire. So, I mean, Twisted Tails, they're going to be fine. They just got to keep their heads up, and they play a really good game. Joshi, goated. Liska is a great player, and I mean, Baxis, the SSL in our hearts, the SSL mental right there.
Oh,
And,
absolutely.
You know, it's pretty great. I mean, they'll be fine. They just got to keep their heads up and keep pushing forward.
Yeah, I definitely agree there. And I think like a lot of these teams, it's only week 4, so everything's going to be close, especially if you look at the leaderboard right now. There are 8 teams that are 2-2 right now. So like everything is based off of game differential and goal differential at this point, which just shows exactly how close these rosters are. Week 5 is going to be very important on determining where some of these teams are going to end up for the mid-season tournament, even if they're going to start rising towards the top or if they're going to start falling a bit towards the bottom. Especially with us basically getting to just about the halfway point of the first half of league play, which is still kind of insane to actually think about, that we're gonna get to week 5 and we're not even halfway through the first entire half of league play. Meanwhile, at this point last season, we were literally finishing the first half of league play, and we were getting ready for like the mid-season tournament in 2 weeks. We still got like another 7 weeks before that happens.
That is a little crazy to think about, I will be honest.
Crazy?
Crazy. I was crazy once.
Oh, don't you start. Don't you start. But let's move off of Twisted Tails and Fox Clan. Obviously, Twisted Tails, we're expecting that once they get going, they're gonna start cooking, and I expect to see that really soon. I just hope that everything works out for them. Fox Clan, they've just had a great performance since that week 1, and they're just on fire. We're gonna have to see if they keep it up, because they are playing against BDS this week, and with that new addition of Reverb, that is a team to beat right now. I am honestly very scared of that BDS squad now.
I do not blame you, and also, you know, you kind of got to, if you're talking BDS, I feel like at least for a couple weeks, if not the entire rest of the league, people are going to be talking about that 0-second goal that just kept them in that series, and then to just go on and complete the reverse sweep is just absolutely insane.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, that was just exciting, and I mean they've been playing pretty well. They definitely seem to be, I'd say, playing at a different level. It's like they've kind of turned it up a notch, which has just been fun to watch. You know, maybe the vibes are just there. I'm not entirely certain. But yeah, they're a fun team to watch right now.
Yeah, I think there's a ton of teams that are really fun to watch. Big Dragon is definitely one of them, especially since they have brought on Reverb. I mean, Reverb has gotten the chance to play with him quite a bit, and he's always an entertaining player to watch. He's just a really solid all-round player. He can make some really great plays, but kind of looking at things from an entire league standpoint, we have tons of teams that are 2-2 right now. I mean, last season, I'm pretty sure Gentle Paw started off 2-2. They ended up 3-9. There were teams that started 0-2, like Rule No, who ended up third in the league. Like, anyone can end up anywhere, and I think every team has the opportunity to really make a run here coming into this second half of the first half of the season.
I gotta agree with that one.
Second half of the first. Okay, that makes sense. Sorry.
Quarter.
I personally haven't had my team play BDS yet, but I know Reverb is actually a really good player, and from what I know of, so the fact that that team is actually doing really well is a pretty good standpoint for what that team is going to experience for the next probably 1 or 2 weeks, maybe 3. They have a good lucky run, they'll go to all the way over to the crew battles and stuff and win that maybe.
Yeah, I definitely think that there's a chance. Obviously, they're gonna have some stiff competition. Let's talk about one of the matches that we thought was gonna go so close and yet was literally the opposite when we're talking about competition. Protogen Rebellion and Lumimosity was absolutely beyond expectations for Lumimosity.
Before Arrow can cut in and talk about it, because I know he's going to be so excited to tell us.
We'll leave him for
Yeah,
last.
I'll let you guys talk first.
Yeah, I'm sure you're very excited, Aralax, but I mean, kind of low-key, Avid? I mean, I've never really seen him play before, but what the heck? He's insane. In addition to that, I mean, Progen Rebellion, they seem to kind of be hot and cold, and if they're just able to have a bit more hot weeks than cold coming up in the near future, I think they still have the opportunity to stand out in this league. So, I mean, we'll need to see what happens with both teams, but I mean, Lumimosity looking good right now.
I mean, I was actually really shocked when I was watching that from work and stuff. I was like, this is not the teams that I thought I would see before. And obviously Avid is cooking something, somehow, some way, against, Protogen Rebellion that has been looking for a good solid win for 2 weeks or something like that. And, oh no, they did win. I'm just checking now. Obviously, need some respect for Turtles, man. Honestly, he got to get out of that orphanage. Just adopt him at this point, man. If you adopt him, you'll start winning. Trust. On God.
Well, sources of mine have actually talked to me, and I don't believe Turtles is in the orphanage at this point anymore, but we'll get a bit more on that later. But Docky, I just want to ask a quick question. If you do, I hope you don't have the master sheet up so you can't tell me this, but I've got a little trivia question for you. What was the goal differential of Protogen Rebellion and Lumimosity this week? If you had to guess.
I want to guess 6.
Okay. Double that, and you're still not there. Lumimosity had a 13 goal differential against Protogen Rebellion. They scored 15-2 in those games, and I mean, game 2 was a 7-0. It was 5-1, 7-0, 3-1. Like, my goodness, Lumimosity is looking like a powerhouse right now, and the Avid and Aralax team up, I'm not gonna lie, when that draft happened, I did not believe in that. I thought that might not necessarily be the best thing, but Avid is starting to pop off and get into his own in the league. And since he's shown up, the team has had a dramatic difference in offensive pressure and just the amount of goals that have been scored. So, Arrow, I mean, what can you say about the team right now?
Avid and Levi are absolutely goated. I'm just kind of here. No, but honestly, we're just we're meshing so well, and like going into that match, we obviously didn't expect it to go the way it did, but it just kind of felt like we constantly had the upper hand, really, and that showed in the scoreline.
That's fair. Docky, I want to ask you, as one of Protogen's supporters, as well as Firestreak, what do you think this says for Protogen? Obviously, it's not the best showing that they've had in the league. I don't think that there was any sort of throwing, but I definitely think that they weren't on the same page. What do you guys think with how the squad's looking going into like week 5?
Well, I mean, I have a lot of respect for their ability to, more than anything, they prioritize, I think, just like making sure that they're all like having a good time and that they're all like happy and that no one's like stressed out. Obviously they haven't had the best start, but I've talked to a few of them. I don't think that's necessarily like tilted any of them out. They don't seem to be too negatively affected by it. So if they can do that, honestly, with how competitive these leagues can get, I think they'll end up actually like way better off in the long run, because just league play can get really stressful, especially when it's that long, and sometimes it can drain you. But if you're just having fun with friends and you're having a good time, which I think a lot of players want to do, but they've managed to basically have a whole team that does that, I think in the long run they'll end up way better off for it. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's really what you want, especially in these like really long leagues, because like it felt like that was a very important part of season 0, and that was just like a weekend compared to this league here. It's like I think, isn't it like this league in total is over double the length?
Yeah.
More than that.
It's it's quite long. We're in it for the long haul, but like having that ability to just like stay in it and just have fun is honestly like that's the mentality for success there. And like even though Progen Rebellion did lose that one, no offense, but fairly convincingly, I'm sure that if they keep up their mental, they are easily making playoffs. Easily.
So here's the thing. I feel like I got to see Protogen when they were firing on all cylinders. Because they were firing on all cylinders when playing against my team. So, I mean, if they're able to replicate that type of play where they just have control of the ball, they have control of the boost, and they're really doing a good job of working. I feel like a big thing for them is when Static and Turtles are able to help Heavenly just be really involved in the game and really have an impact on the game. They play really well as a team, but as soon as maybe they start trying to play a bit too fast for Heavenly, or maybe that starts to become a little bit more difficult for them, they struggle a bit more. So I think if they're able to just really find more consistent ways to work Heavenly into those rotations and get him really involved in their playstyle, they will have a good long season. And ultimately, I think that's what they will have, because they'll find their spot, So I think that's kind of the make or break factor for them. But regardless, if they are able to do that, that team's going to have a good time the entire season, which is always the biggest thing. So, I mean, I'm still optimistic for that team, ultimately.
The real trophy is the friends we made along the way.
Yeah, unironically.
And the mouses. And the mice.
Well, I was going to say, Cookie, if anybody knows about having a fun time, it would be you and your team in Persian 1. What do you guys think, if you were in Protogen Rebellion's spot right now, being 1-3 on the league, how would you as a manager approach your team for the next week,
1-3. I thought no, it's 2-2, isn't it?
No, they are 1-3 right now.
Oh,
You're
shit.
2-2. I'm saying if you were on Protogen.
Oh.
So, like, how would you as a manager, like, get your team pumped up for the next week of play?
Let's see. Obviously, we gotta get them out on the field. You know, let them have some fun. Tell them do some cool tricks. Get those mechs in. You know, gotta have some music in the background. If you ain't got the music in the background, you ain't vibing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta have something playing in the background. For some people, it works better if you don't. But if you really want to go hard and you want to have fun, you gotta have those jams. You gotta pick your best jams, and then sit there, hit the shots that you're missing, work on your rotations, work on your comms. You could even do less comms if you want to. What we're doing right now for Version 1 is we're trying to mix those. So it's like, if I was a manager for Protogen Rebellion, we'd be working on seeing what we could do to, fix whatever's going on that is preventing us from that. And then we dash in a little bit of fun juice in there.
I mean, I think everybody likes a good old sip of fun juice. That's
Not
for
that
sure.
fun juice.
That's not what I was referring to, but whatever
I'll just have water,
juice,
thanks.
at least whatever juice is helping you have fun. Just
Orange juice.
sip. Orange juice is good for your health. Apple juice, keep the doctors away. All of that. Anyway,
What about
let's
cranberry,
go
though?
ahead. Cranberry? Don't do cranberry. That's just my personal.
What?
advice.
Cranberry.
Wow.
Let's-
Okay.
Let's
This
go
guy.
ahead and talk about our other 3-0 of the week 4, which is going to include a couple of the people here. Version 1 and Gentle Paws. Doesn't really involve Cookie personally, but as the manager, I'm sure you were watching, and a lot closer of a matchup, but Fire, you have the new player in Pictus, and my goodness, what a pickup! Like, you guys popped off.
I mean, Pictus, he's a very, very strong player. I'm very happy to have him on the squad, and it just makes it really easy for me and Strawberry to be able to do our roles on the team when you have a player like Pictus there that's able to really do a lot. Able to play some really solid defense, able to play some really mechy, flashy, just really exciting plays on offense, because I know, like, even just in the few times that we've played, because we've only played on Sunday. We had a scrim today, and then we played like one time before we actually played last week as a squad. And it's like every time we see Pictus go up for a play, there's just like a certain amount of excitement that's just buzzing through the room, and it's amazing because that just really keeps the spirits high, and it has our confidence pretty high. So, I mean, overall, I'm happy with how the team is gelling, and I'm really happy to have Pictus on board. So, yeah.
I wanted to ask Cookie. Obviously, I think everybody in this on this desk right now, besides me, had heard about Pictus as a player before their games. And everybody had like a little bit of a different reaction. Cookie, what was your reaction to finding out Pictus was on the squad as they were about to go up against your team?
Honestly, we gotta correct some things here, because long-term standing joke is that he's called Squeaking Cat. We're gonna bring that joke into this life.
Oh,
He's
no.
gonna hate me for
Oh,
it, but
no.
it is what it is.
Knowing you,
Oh.
you'll call him Squeaking Mouse. So
No, that's you. Anyways, being
He
it
will
was
never
it
escape
was
the
basically
Squeaking Cat.
Hayes' duo. I was kind of like surprised that he even actually joined, because me and Hayes were talking constantly throughout it. Like, he's been always trying to get Pictus in here and try to get him in the league and stuff, and he would always say no. So we were like, okay, maybe he's not actually playing. And then when he actually was, I hopped into a call with him, and I was like, I think Pictus might be in the league. And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, that's exactly what I said. I didn't understand anything, but it was like, I trusted my team at the moment before I had found out what was the issue with the team. So, we've got that fixed.
RF
But yeah.
drama alert.
Oh no team drama this time. It was mostly just
This time.
What do you mean this time?
This time, wait.
No, we're not getting into that. Don't worry about it. We already. I remember you told me what the issue right now is. I do gotta ask, is that issue getting fixed?
It actually did. Yeah, literally yesterday he had gotten out to get a new equipment for it. So
Okay,
yeah, we
can I
have
ask you guys
one
to
player
switch? Can I ask you guys to switch back when you play my team?
I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna 3-0 you. I'm just gonna be like.
Oh.
Hey,
I
yo!
These are
fair-
fighting words. I'm sorry.
To be fair, you
Them's is fighting
already
words.
did, so there's not.
We're gonna
much
do
I
it
can say
again.
about
We're gonna
that.
do it again.
Okay, that is fighting words. How dare you? Okay, let's ask
And-
some of the
And
bystanders.
if your
Oh,
team loses, you have to admit to being a mouse.
never, not happening. Aerolax, Docky,
Oh.
what were your guys' thoughts of the Genopause victory?
They're,
I mean,
they're definitely a new team.
yeah,
Did you
Like,
get to watch
dang.
that one, Docky?
I did. I think that's the one I watched from work, if I remember right.
Was it with the one you
Um,
casted?
Was that the one? Oh, mate, no. I honestly don't remember. My memory only goes back at least
I'm about to-
Yeah,
I'm
my
about
memory
to
goes back
find out.
20 seconds.
Docky casted with me.
What?
Yep,
No,
it was
this
on
is-
Sunday.
Exactly, in real time. No, okay. Well, I mean, I do remember watching it at the very least. And yeah, I mean, that's good to see Pictus playing. I Pictus is a really fun person, so yeah, they're definitely good.
Arrow, what are your thoughts?
Like I said, Genopause is just a completely different team, and with the addition of Pictus, I feel like Genopause is just going to be most definitely a force to be reckoned with going forward.
Yeah, I have to agree. Meanwhile, on the side of Persian 1, obviously, you guys are 2-2. You're probably looking to up that to 3-2 coming into this next week. You guys play against Lumimosity, though. Not going to be an easy team to beat. I know you can't give me any sort of strats, Cookie, but what are you guys focused on? Are you guys just going to be focused on having a good time? Or is there anything else extra that your team is going to look into during this week? What's the game plan for you?
Believe it or not, I have taken
I'm
upon the
looking
role
on
as a
here.
manager that doesn't interfere with how they play their games. So, most of the time when they're playing, I am not available. So, it's kind of one of those things where I can't really influence how they play because they all seem to be pretty good together. So I kind of let them do what they do. I actually have no idea what the game plan is for them other than the fact that I go in there, watch them play, and then that's pretty much it. Then we talk strategies from there. But it's mostly just them because I'm there to listen to make sure everything's good, and then I'm doing back-end work as well. So whatever they plan to do this coming match on Saturday is how they're going to play. But my full plan is that they actually do win it. I just don't know how far they're going to take it this week, considering all the issues we've had. We're trying to see if we can fix that mental. So far, it's working from what I've been seeing in like the little rehab thing that we're doing with Hayes. So we'll see how it goes. But that's all the things that I can give out for that right now.
Fair.
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 I'm pretty sure Lumimosity's game plan is just let Avid and Aerolax touch the ball and everything will be good. So, I don't think we need to discuss
comment.
their strategy too much. Let's talk about let's talk about a Waptic and X3 Tactics here. Was our only 4-game series of the weekend. And I mean, I think Awoptic looked really good. Let's talk to Docky about Gala, because Gala was a change that I don't think a lot of people were expecting to happen as early as it did. But how does it feel having Gala on the squad now?
I mean, it's been good. Gala's a really good player. It was they didn't have a lot of time to play together. I think we had done like one casual session like the night before, and then I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know if we got like really any scrims in. So definitely adjustments to be made like last second rotationally. But I mean, already I could feel that, you know, Gala's just a fantastic player. So I don't really need to do too much work in terms of like working with him. I could just kind of like let him do his thing, get used to the way that he plays. I played against him a bunch, and I played with him, in ranked and stuff. But it's, obviously it's a different setting, so things are different. But yeah, fantastic player, just really fun person to be around. I was really happy that he was available when he was to be able to join. And yeah, Gala's great. So shout out to him.
Yeah. So obviously it was a bit of a trade, as Nacho has kind of went to the free agent / Lumosity corner for the most part, to kind of be that fill-in for when Avid is not really available. Week 1 MVP and everything. Nacho has had an outstanding performance, but obviously there are going to be some fundamental changes in your guys' style with such a change like that. Did you guys notice any of that impacting your performance on on the day when you guys played X3 Tactics?
Yeah, I mean, like I think I said this last week. Like the change from Nacho had nothing to do with like his performance or anything. Obviously, a fantastic player, well deserving of his MVP in week 1. Just a really solid player all around. Very good at what he does. It was just unfortunate with scheduling and stuff that made it difficult. And so, that it was a decision that we had made, and it seemed to be mutually beneficial, I think, for both me and Avid at the time, or not to say at the time. Seemed like a mutually beneficial move for me and Avid to make. But yeah, I mean, Joe's playstyle is very much that kind of shooter on ball. So that was kind of our rotations weeks 1 and 2 and 3. But Gala also is actually also a really good on ball player. More of a setup, likes to pass the ball a lot, but also has a really good shot. So not too much of an adjustment to be made. Just some of the rotations in the midfield are a little bit different, a little bit more wider rotations, I think. So other than that, though, it's been a pretty smooth transition. It's just a matter of getting reps in and whatnot.
Yeah, have to agree. Obviously, X3 Tactics going up 4-0. Not definitely something that we expected at the start of the league, but Aeroax, Fire, and Cookie, I want to ask, what are your guys' thoughts on X3 Tactics so far? Like, they're just dominant.
Yep. That's kind of the only real way to put it, is they're just really dominating at the point. And we might be getting sort of like a BBG of last season for this season. And I mean, hopefully it isn't a repeat of the past, because last season it took until the final week before league play for BBG to finally lose a series. And if that happens this season, then they're gonna be 10-1, which,
yeah,
as amazing as that would be, I don't want to see it.
So here's the thing, Arrow. BBG last season was absolutely destroying teams. Like, absolutely just steamrolling them. This season, X3 has only had one sweep, and that was against BDS, who underwent huge roster changes right before that week 1 match. Every other series since then has been 1 4-game series and 2 Oh wait, let's see. A game or a 5-game series and then another 4-game series. So it's not like they're completely just rolling teams, but they are finding ways to finish off these close matchups on a consistent basis. So, I mean, they're a really solid team, but the games are close enough that, you know, 1 or 2 plays go differently, and they're 3-1. So, very, very good team, very strong team, but I don't think it is quite a repeat of a Black Bunny from last, fortunately, because we don't.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, it's for me, it's honestly, it's one of those teams that when I was looking at it originally, I thought maybe this would be kind of an awkward setup for them, but whenever you see like these three just play together, like they've been playing since like they've got all games played since the start of the season, so it's like they're locked in. They've got that synergy that I think is, I wouldn't say unbeatable, but I would say it is a very difficult thing to try to find a way around it. You have to really look into it a little bit more when you want to play against them, or if you're expecting to play against them, you have to think of everything that you can with all 3 players to try to figure out how to break that synergy in between. The more you can break a synergy, the more you can win against a team that is more synergized than you. So it's one of those things where it's like teams are good, unexpectedly good, but you could definitely break them down if you find a way.
Yeah, I would definitely agree there. I do want to ask, just in general, so last question on X3 Tactics, but I want everybody's opinion about this. They played BDS week 1. Obviously, a completely different squad from what it is now. Meezer wasn't in. They had Infernal in as a sub. Maxi was in instead of Reverb. If X3 Tactics played BDS right now in a best of 5, who do you have taking that series?
Can I start off by saying game 5 overtime? Let's run it. No, that would definitely be an entertaining series to see. Reverb is absolutely goated. And I mean, it would be a very close series. I would be very interested to see, and I could see it going either way, really.
Honestly, yeah, I want to see that too.
You said either way, but like, who takes it though? You gotta give a winner.
I guess given the clutch factor that we have seen from BDS so far, I guess I would have BDS just finding the ice in the last second. But I mean, I'd say there's like they're so evenly matched. It's by the thinnest of margins.
Yeah, like that. It's really like it's really just a toss up of which team wins. I feel. It's just like in any given day, one could win, the other could win.
Okay, what about you, Cookie and Docky?
I'm thinking with the combo that BDS has now. I'm genuinely thinking that they could take that in like maybe like 4 or even game 5, like maybe not even OT, just game 5. But I think with the roster that they have, they could definitely do it if they really wanted to. They could put their minds to it, because you gotta always look at those low ranked players. They can surprise you.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea. I've been wrong like majority of my predictions just in regular league play, so I don't think I could even begin to accurately predict who'd win that one. I mean, we'll get to see that eventually, hopefully.
Yes, we will.
But yeah, that's that. I mean, obviously, I feel like that would be relatively close. If BDS continues to play as well as they have been playing, obviously. But I have no doubt that they will. And I have no doubt that Exeter will keep up the high level performances that they've been putting on recently. So, yeah, it'd be. I mean, I agree with Fire. I think it would go to like a game 5 overtime. It'd be incredibly close.
I'll just give a straight up answer. I think BDS does take that. I think it goes game 5. Obviously, both these teams are great, but I do think with how BDS have been playing recently, they're definitely in that honeymoon phase. Not necessarily gonna say that it's gonna last for a lot longer, or it might. I really don't know how that team is gonna perform later on, but you know, with the caliber they're playing at, I could see them. You know, I could already see them in the grand finals of midseason and or playoffs. Like, they look that good. So, I mean, you know, that is, you know, I think BDS would take it in 5, but I think it would be super close. But I can see the one person in the chat has a little bit of a different opinion. And so let's go ahead and talk about their team, because I think they want me to move on to their team. But the upset of the week, Black Bunny Gaming getting beat by Cloud9 in 5.
I thought you said, wait, how is there 2 upsets of the week?
Well, what's the other one?
I'm confused. Okay, I'm confused.
What was the other upset of the week?
Carry on, I'll figure out what I'm thinking.
Aralex's Intel Atom is still catching up.
I think he's still
Yeah,
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, he's just having a hard time
Am I?
computing, so I'm gonna buy him some time here and say, I mean,
What am I thinking?
Cloud9, looking fantastic. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Black Bunny, very strong roster. I just scrimmed against them legitimately like an hour before the podcast. A very strong squad. They're good. Not completely unbeatable like last season, but still really strong. Cloud9 just looking good, and it's good to see teams really improving week over week and upping their game. So, I mean, is there anything else to say there? Like, they just played well. Cloud9 played well. Black Bunny played their game and just didn't work out. They'll regain though. They'll be back. I think they might be, once they find that permanent person to have on their roster after the unfortunate departure of Sam from the Black Bunny squad. I think they'll find their pace and they'll be just fine. So Cloud9 though, very impressive performance. So
Alright, I think I finally remember. I think I had the wrong hard drive installed. Yeah, that performance from Cloud9 was nothing short of spectacular, and as I heard a lot of people throwing around, Cloud9 might be the new Gentle Paws. Like, their defense in that game was absolutely insane. Just able to hold down that defensive line, especially from Hammer, who is definitely a force to be reckoned with on offense. Just being able to deal with that, as well as the pressure put on by Vezix, not only to like deal with all that, but then also to win the series, is just hats off to Cloud9 there.
Like, all I gotta say, I think the main reason why is if we look at last season and now this season, I'm looking at the stats right now, and I cannot find anybody that has more saves than this guy. Factual data.
Mm-hmm.
What, like 13 games in 3 series, already has like 26 saves, and that matches with like, what, 7 different players that are already on this list? Like, he's a very good defensive player. Like, if you need something, like if you're having issues with your like defensive like play style and you're getting a lot of goals scored on you, but when you bring in someone like Factual Data and that stops those goals from going in and allows you to make such counterattacks against like a very mostly demo heavy team with an SSL and then like another GC1 that's up there, you can put a lot of pressure on a team that you would never expect to, and then suddenly come around as like, where did this team come from? Like, if you're BBG, you definitely shook. Like, You don't want to see Factual on that goal line blocking every single one of your shots. It is just demoralizing.
Yeah, I have to agree there. I do have to say, like, this... I know that people say that we reference the teams from back in Season 0 a lot. It's just because, you know, that's all we have to really reference on is Season 0, as overpowered some of the rosters and how terrible the ranking system was for that season. And how unbalanced it was. It still is our only reference point, so that's kind of what we just go off of. But I do like, not to throw shade at anybody or anything, but I like the storyline of BBG finally being able to be defeated. I think it adds a new depth to the team, where instead of just being the top all the time, they can have sort of like a fall from grace to a redemption period in their storyline as the roster. And I'm excited to see that. And like, the team's great, obviously. Like, they play amazing. We had to take them to a game 5 just to beat them. And that could have went either way, depending on how the first couple of minutes in that went. So if any team's going to come back, obviously it's going to be BBG. They have the rotations, they have the mentality, and I think with their new addition to the roster, I think that that's going to start happening sooner rather than later. So we're just going to have to see how they approach the next couple of weeks. So very excited to see how they move on. And I mean, not much I can say for my team except Voltic goated, Factual goated. Obviously, we look a lot like Gentle Paws right now, considering our place in the overall standings right now. Not to throw shade, but it is pretty low. So we are meeting all the right criteria. But I mean, you know, I'm happy with my squad, and I hope that we can keep up the performance. Obviously, we have a really tough match coming up this week that we're going to be playing live, and you guys all know my problems when it comes to playing live on streams as it is. So that's already kind of a chip against us, and then you got to realize it's against X3 Tactics, who have been undefeated this season, so quite a big wall in front of us. So I'm just gonna kind of wait and see what happens and approach next week, this next week with optimism, I'd say. But I think with that, it's time to talk about the last match of week 4, which is, of course, going to be our match of the week. So let's talk about it a little bit while these clips play. But BDS versus Dignapause was our match of the week, and Dignapause looked really great at first, but we keep seeing something that I am starting to coin the Sylvie effect, where they go up by 2 games very quickly, and then something on the team just kind of collapses. And this week, Dignapause getting the first reverse sweep against them in the entire league. So, guys, what were your thoughts on the match?
BDS goated.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you could say other than it was wild to watch in real time. I guess, like, I think you said both teams played really well. The problem with, like, I don't know if it's like I don't know if it'd be like a throwing thing. It's just momentum swings, and it swings really heavily, and so, you know, you can start out really slow, and then you start getting some goals, and, you know, it's just like kind of like threes, where sometimes you start off, you know, not doing much, but as soon as you find, you know, your way into a play, all of a sudden you start doing a bunch and start scoring. So the same kind of thing happens, I think, a lot of times in these series where, you know, teams start not really connecting really well, and all of a sudden they start clicking, and then they just run away with it. And I think that's what happened here. And that BDS started a little bit slow, a little bit awkward, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it just started scoring. I mean, some of those games were really high scoring. And obviously we did have a fantastic game 4 ending that we can talk about, obviously, in droves. But yeah, it's well played, I think, from both teams. I think both teams could be happy with how they played that series.
I was That series in particular, great series. You know, anytime you see a reverse sweep, it's a great series. But both of the lower ranked players on those teams, Abyss and oh gosh, who else was the lower? And Rue the Fuzzy. My bad. Of course, Rue the Fuzzy, the one who hit the absolutely insane shot to send into overtime and keep their team alive. I mean, great players, and they really showed up for their teams, which is always good to see. So, I mean, that's the part that really stood out to me personally. But I mean, yeah, it was a great series. Well played to both teams.
Honestly, hot take. Dignipod's kind of experienced the Rogue Esports curse. Hot take. Very hot take. Like, if
That's
you
a
think
deep
about it,
cut.
right? Without Yuki being there,
Also, wait, hold on. There's 0 second. Wait, hold on.
Oh,
Gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Anyway,
without
continue.
Yuki being on Dignipaz, if I remember correctly, and I'm reading this actually right, without Yuki being on Dignipaz at the time and being subbed out for Abyss, it becomes a C1 and GC3. That basically just goes into the exact same thing that Rogue Esports had during that RLCS season, where it was just first killer and then 2 other players that couldn't match his rank, because he was always on that first play. So you have a really good player stacked with, even though they were actually really good, they had great plays, great shots, great stuff here and there. It just leads to a flawed team where you can overpower the 2 lower ranked players in that team, and then the high ranked player now has to try to back up the 2 lower ranks to kind of even out the hole that's left between that GC2 that was supposed to be in that match. So I think that could be the reason why the reverse sweep happened. But I think...
So I do believe
Go ahead.
Kiki was there, and Kiki is GC1.
I think that would have helped it a lot. But it's just... That was my take. It's a hot take on it being a rogue situation.
So for clarity, Dignipaz, I believe, did not have any change to their rank, Cookie, because they were subbing out their lowest rank for a Champ 1. So it was a Champ 1 for a Champ 1.
Champ 2 for Champ 1.
Champ 2 for Champ 1. So no major change in ranks. They were fairly evenly matched in terms of ranks on both teams, but... Which I believe the only change, or the only difference in rank between the 2 teams was Rue the Fuzzy being a Diamond 3 and Abyss being a Champ 1. So yeah, just I mean, yeah, both teams played pretty well in that series.
It's just unfortunate week for them. I'm sure they'll bounce back next week. It's just... Those rogue situations, that will get you. It's a rogue curse. It happens every time. I see it a lot.
yeah. I mean, honestly, I do have to agree with, I think, Docky. It definitely, I think, was very momentum heavy. And after that Game 4 goal from Rue the Fuzzy, like, how can you not get all the momentum off of that? Especially 0 seconds, tying the game, and then stealing the game away. I had thought Dignipaz had that in the bag, Game 4. It just looked so simple for them. And then just... That's the beauty of Rocket League, and especially with this esport, is that the game's not over until the ball touches the ground. Anything can happen, and unfortunately for Dignipaz, they were just on the receiving end of that statement this week. But as we all expect, they're probably going to pop off this next week. I have pure confidence in them. I think they're a great roster. So, especially seeing some of the newer additions that the roster is going to have, but we'll talk about that here in a little bit. I think now that we've talked about the matches, I think everybody knows what time it is. It's time to talk about the MVP of the week. And the song just came on, so I don't even have to change it. So thank you to whatever God is watching over that. because the Rocket League gods are finally down on us. Let's talk about the MVP of the week. And I think nobody's going to be surprised about this one, guys. It's going to be Avid.
That's my teammate.
Blazed.
I mean, Avid played fantastic last week, and it's hard to tell. It's like these clips, although very nice clips, they don't really put into the full scope of the impact that he had on that series. Like, he just seemed to be everywhere Trojan Rebellion didn't want him to be. And, I mean, he just had a dominant performance, which is always good to see for somebody with as much history in the server as Avid does. So, well played to Avid. Absolutely goated player who did some pretty spectacular things, as we saw with that double demo that just rang out on screen.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I think is this the first? No, this isn't the first series that Avid has played, right? I don't believe so.
Second one.
Second one, okay, that's right, because the first one's against my team. But no, yeah, I mean the chemistry is seemingly there for them. I mean, all of them are good players. They're seemingly having a good time. I mean, obviously, I feel like Airlex would agree with that. They're just connecting really well. So, yeah, they're obviously clicking right now, and that's, I think, working really well for them. I think teams have to kind of figure out how to counter that, and right now they're kind of lucky that a lot of teams haven't seen Avid play in general, let alone like on this kind of team setting. So I'm sure that as this season goes on, teams will start to be able to kind of expect some of these plays coming out. But as it is right now, I mean, they're playing really well.
Indeed. I really do think I really do think that the Avid and Arrow combo on some of those plays were definitely like super heat. It's one of those things where you can have a very locked in day with your teammate and not expect it, and then after that you're very, very hyped. Like it's insane. You can't just go into a match expecting it.
Apparently the name is wrong on this. Fire, take notes.
What do they do? Would they prefer Vise?
I think
He
there's
goes
not
by
two
both
A's.
There's
Yeah.
1A.
Yeah, I think it's one A, not two.
Hold
You
on.
know what? I think it's fine. Either way, as Fire was saying, historic in the server. He's more than historic. He's the owner of the server. He's the first person that ever got to join this particular one, and my goodness, what a server it has been. So you gotta, if you want to thank anybody for all of this, I mean, thank him, obviously. Obviously, you can thank me after, but that's besides the point. He is the one that made the server and kind of invited me to it. So if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have a league in the first place. So congratulations to him, a very well-deserved MVP for week 4. And I did see a little bit of a thing at the end there. I just kind of want to go back to that. Let's just skip through some of this. So what's going on here, Cookie? What's going on here?
What are you talking about?
So what is this? Hashtag free turtles? I don't understand.
Hashtag free turtles!
I don't get it.
Wait. Does this mean that I can get a free turtle? I want a free turtle.
Take it as interpreted.
Actually, I want a free
but,
turtle, too.
Honestly, hashtag free turtle. Get them out of that orphanage. Come on.
I have a friend that has a turtle. They are very nice creatures, depending on the variety. But I mean, that being said, Cookie, I think you would be very happy to hear that actually Turtles is no longer in that orphanage, and I'm actually going to show everybody. He has relocated. Me and Rye had a talk about Turtle's living situation, and we kind of decided, I mean, the orphanage, like, we understand why last week was a bit of a bust for them. see the orphanage has a lot of people that they can talk to, and they had way too much social interaction. It was taking away from their gameplay, so we decided that we were going to move Turtles somewhere just for the sake of the team. Rye decided, it was mainly their decision, that they're going to move Turtles somewhere with a little less population, a little less distraction, as it will. So we do have an update on where Turtles is right now, and you can see he's kind of in the mountains. There's a little bit of like a little bit of a thing behind him.
Why
I'm not
he in
entirely sure that
GTA?
is, but don't worry about it. All you need to know is that he's doing fine. We still gave him his sugar cubes from last week. He gets to keep those with him. But he has less people to talk to now. He can roam, but he can't really do too much more. So hopefully he'll be more focused on Rocket League in this upcoming week and try to get another win for his team. If they're not able to, we might have to take some more drastic measures, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But Turtles is doing fine.
You call this drastic?
I mean, it's only their third loss. I mean, it's not that drastic, but it's, we gotta get them away from places.
If I was taken out of an orphanage and put on this hill, I would love it. I wouldn't care. I'd be fine with it. That's a great view.
Yeah,
What do you
that is a
mean
pretty
drastic?
good
This is
view.
great. Set up a tent. Be happy with your sugar cubes. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think they gave him a tent. I'm being completely honest.
No. He's on a survival of the fittest at this point. Like he has to. He has to figure out how to get electricity to make his Rocket League work. Obviously,
I believe.
We might put
To
up
be fair,
an
he's
enclosure
near
for
an
him on game day.
observatory, so I think he'll be fine. He's got wings anyways. I'm sure he'll find his way inside.
Yeah, more than likely. But that is where Turtles is at, guys. And I do want to take a look before anything else. I want to take a look at the leaderboard for this next week, because this is where we're at the end of week 4. Obviously, we've got some great teams on here. As we've said, so many teams are at that 2-2 mark right now. Anybody is going to be able to move up, and it's very exciting to see where we're going to be at the end of week 5. But obviously, with it being an odd week, there's going to be a lot of 2-3s, a lot of 3-2s. But we still have our top 6 right now, which is, I think, basically the same as it was last week. Not a huge change, except I think Lumosity has moved up, which is exciting to see for that roster. But yeah, I mean, we keep talking about how close these teams are. This kind of encapsulates that, don't you guys think?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, Black Bunny moving down a bit to that 7 seed, and Lumosity moving up. So, I mean, really, really good teams, good games. I mean, they're all so close to each other. It's really hard to distinguish between one team from another in terms of who is truly like a better team right now. So, I mean, anybody within that, like, anybody between the placement of 1 through 12 right now has a great chance to be able to put together a really solid season, in my opinion. So I think we're going to see some this move around quite a bit in the next few weeks.
I'm more impressed with the fact that, like someone has said, 8 teams are in contention for 3rd place. Don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, this next week is gonna mean a lot. I'm just excited to see some good Rocket League this coming weekend. I don't think it's gonna mean, like, the thing is about these sort of close leagues is that even if you lose a match, you could win your next one. And say that the same thing happens again. We could be here 2 weeks from now and say there's 8 teams that are 3-3 right now. You never know what's gonna happen.
Or 10 teams.
Or all teams.
Whoa.
Dang, that would be interesting.
How would you even?
There might be a way that happened, but I don't know. What would
Scripted.
the game
Get the
differential
calculator.
than goal? It would be
Scripted.
game differential than goal, but I mean,
Yeah, but what if all those match as well?
Yeah, what if everyone has the same exact everything?
Alphabetical order.
I want a 12
Okay, I
team
don't like that anymore.
tiebreaker match, free for all.
We'll do a.
That would be chaotic. I'm
We'll
so
do
down.
a modded 1v1v1v1 times 12 is what we do. The only exception is that I'm getting OSM as a sub. No, I call dibs.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, I
No,
got
nobody
dibs.
gets
Deal with
him.
it.
He gets his own team.
Yeah, it's called the OSM freestyles on everyone. Anyway, before we move on to our final segment of the day, which will be predictions from everybody, I do want to talk about one of the big things that has happened in this last week, and it's the title of the stream. Rostermania is upon us, guys. The roster lock has been lifted at the end of week 4, and the SSL price got moved down by 50, so some of the SSL managers might be able to move up a rank with some of their choices. And we've been seeing quite a lot of roster moves, not just from the SSLs, but from the entire league in general. So what are your guys' thoughts on Rostermania so far?
There have definitely been some shakeup, for sure. I think as we're going to see a bit more of when we pull up the free agent portal for the stream. Yeah, there's definitely some shakeups that I think a lot of people find pretty fascinating. So some ones I definitely didn't see coming, looking at Dignipaz. But yeah, it'll definitely shake some things up. And I think it'll have impacts for the rest of the season.
Is this segment brought to you by Hulk Hogan?
No.
No, we couldn't get the sponsorship.
Dang.
If I could
just
get that
hear
sort of
brother
sponsorship, you guys
in
would
the
get
back,
paid.
you know?
We're getting
I'm excited for
paid?
Wait, we're getting paid?
We're getting paid!
Whoa!
Yo, let's go! We finally did it!
Let's go!
That's what I'm talking about, baby! That's what we've been waiting for!
Woo!
Are you done? Are you done? Are you done? I think I'm done.
Woo! Let's go,
We're
baby!
getting paid!
Okay, you know who I haven't heard from in a while? Docky. Docky,
What's up?
what's your thought of Rostermania so far? What you do know about it, that is.
You don't know how tempted I am.
We're getting paid.
Okay, hold on. Let me get my brain functioning for a second here. Huh?
It's a
Can't
brain.
get that functioning.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying
What
to
if I
figure
give
that
you a
out.
fish? Would you stop?
Fish?
Wait, fish? Crazy.
Okay,
Crazy?
you know what? I
was
think
I was crazy once.
I think what I should do is ask people about how they feel after we reveal some of the changes that were made. So let's go ahead
there
and
you
talk
go,
about the
there you
free
go.
agent portal. Obviously, there are going to be some people on here that played last week, so we want to show off their cards, kind of show them the stats that they gained over this last week. Obviously, Kiki is in here now, as they were moved into free agents, but actually, that is going to be changing really, really quickly. In fact, it's going to be changing here in a couple of seconds when we move over to this next part of the portal. But as you can see, everybody played here, getting some decent stats. Something that I'm kind of surprised about is Azami getting 0 saves per game. I'm guessing they just weren't they weren't really in the backline a lot during that Persian 1 match. So definitely, I guess it makes sense, but at the same time, it's very weird to see just a straight 0 stat line on anything. So
Bugged?
kind of just throws me off.
I mean, Azami was subbing in for Golden, and that was definitely... They have very different playstyles, those two players. So I'm not sure if it was the best opportunity for Azami's first showing in the league, but I think that if they are able to get another opportunity in later weeks, they'll definitely... Those stats are going to jump right up, for sure. But... the sub that kind of stood out to me the most was Abyss, who kind of had a quiet week the first week that they got the chance to play for a team, but they came in last week and had a fantastic game and a fantastic series. So hats off to Abyss, especially out of these free agents, and we'll play to all of them for stepping up and filling in for the teams that needed them.
Oh yeah, I can agree with that too. And I'll say, as a manager who has, I mean, it might not have been the best choice for Persian 1, but they definitely do have a play style. It might not have been what Persian 1 needed at that current time, but they definitely did help out for what we needed. They kept the games close, and I do think if they had a better opportunity and more experience in actual league itself, they could probably get a really good team together and really take over the league. But can I just say, honestly, all these free agents here pretty good, but fire J Boss coming in here and just absolutely showing probably one of the best, sub-ins for any teams that you could think of, where he's just coming in, getting that 318 score, getting a lot of saves and hella shots on net. It's a player that you really want. If you make roster changes, he's definitely a player to look out for. I will say that.
Oh yeah, I was gonna mention it if nobody else did, but playing against Fire J, that was they made that a really tough matchup. They were just in the right spot all the time. That fake that they got in, I think, Game 4 for Hammer to shoot was immaculate. I literally thought he was about to hit the ball, and then it's soaring into our net because Hammer touches it instead. They just had some really good plays. They had some really good defense. They made it very hard to score on their net. So props to Fire J, because I think that was an outstanding showing. But let's go ahead and... Oh, yeah, Cookie?
To think that I don't think Fire J Boss would have probably been in this league had he had not gotten curious, because I had told him, I think I was in VC with him, and I was like, yeah, I gotta go run a few live matches for a league, and he got really curious. He wanted to watch Persian 1 as well, I think the week before or something like that. And I sent him the link over to him to your channel to watch, and I was like, he seems pretty interested, but I don't think he'll join. Nah, he literally that same week, I did not expect him to join. I saw him in the free agents. I was like, am I tripping?
You are tripping.
I thought I was tripping when I saw his picture on his card. I was like, what is this? and then I was like, oh, this guy means business. Okay. Well,
he means business, but he's fun. I'll give him that. He means business.
To be fair, Fade, when I was putting that on his player card, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, what is this player picture?
That's not the weirdest one I've seen. That's not the weirdest
honestly,
one
that's only the second weirdest. The first weirdest being reverbs. But
no,
that is what it is.
I've seen way worse.
But let's move on and talk about some of these actual roster changes that did happen right here, because you can see a lot of players actually having some team cards here. Obviously, you can see on the bottom, Reverb is going to be in for BDS, meaning Maxi is now a free agent. Pictus is now in for Gentle Paws. Melon has chosen to become inactive for the league, so he is not available to be brought in. So if you're looking for a GC3, Melon is not in that list right now, so you're a bit out of luck there. And obviously, we've talked about it before, but Nacho going to be a free agent as well. And a new free agent in Warstog, who is going to be at the Champ 1 rank. But you can see at the top here, some pretty interesting changes. Kiki is going to be moving into Black Bunny Gaming as their GC1. Yuki and Nova Fox are both going to be members of Dignipause. And I was not expecting a Yuki pickup.
I mean,
Yuki's
it's
goated.
I was about to say the same thing, Erlax. I mean, Yuki is goated, and it's good to see Yuki get a chance to play this season, because Yuki played really well last season. Given Yuki was listed at the Champ 3 rank last season, I believe, so it's going to be really interesting to see how he adapts to maybe being a bit of a higher rank player on that roster and carrying a little bit more responsibility. But I think if there is a player that can handle it, it's Yuki. Yuki's goated. Nova, I mean, has had, I think, 1 or 2 good showings so far in the league, so I think he'll fit in really well with those rotations that Dignipaz has and will be a great support for them. So, yeah, well played to Dignipaz.
Can I just mention that Yuki and Sylvie are going to be on the same team now? And that kind of
that's a
frightens
little
me.
terrifying. I'm gonna be completely honest. Like, kind of just like, ever since I saw that Yuki got picked up by Dignipaz, I'm kind of just running it through my head, like, what kind of style is that team going to have? Because I know, like, obviously we saw Sylvie, very, very quick player, very mechanical. Yuki is also very quick and mechanical in their own right. It's kind of terrifying to kind of think, like, what they're capable of. Just put both those really good players on the same team, and it's just like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm very, very excited to see them play this weekend.
It's really interesting too, because Yuki and Sylvie have like the opposite ends of the mechanical spectrum from what I've seen. Yuki, a very grounded player, very much able to just control the ball and just somehow work it around the entire defense. Then you have Sylvie, who just go into the air and like hit triple flip reset, musty, double tap, everything on you. And like 2 very different styles of mechanics, but 2 very mechanical players. So, I mean, now they have a threat on the ground and in the air. And yeah, that's a bit scary.
I mean, it sounds like they got all their bases covered.
Who's playing defense?
Nova.
True, though.
Well, we'll have to see how they play, but yeah, guys, those are the big roster moves right now. As of right now, I don't think we've heard of any other roster moves moving into the weekend. Obviously, those will be reflected on player cards as they show up for their matches, but hopefully, best of luck to these new teams that are forming, and I hope that they find some success. But it's time for us to see exactly what we think about the teams going into the next week, because it's time for some caster predictions. And to start our caster predictions, we need to know what the matches are, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at the match schedule this week and also see where everybody is ranking in terms of caster predictions. And in the caster prediction battle, once again, I'm still in the lead, so if you want somebody that knows ball, here I am. Fire going 10-10, literally half and half. Aerolax 9-9, so also same ratio. Docky, I want to say it, but I don't want to. 9.
Bad.
No.
Bad.
Towers didn't die for
Take
this.
away your cheese.
The towers didn't die for this.
Well, you just said it. Okay, we're not. He
Wow.
He 9-11 this fucking street. Okay, guys. Docky is 9 correct and 11 not correct, and our guests are 6 and 6 because we did not have a podcast last week, so we didn't get to get predictions. Canceled. We're getting canceled. So, you know, it is what it is. Who is making plain emotes in the chat? I swear to God. Anyway, guys, now that you know where the casters stand into this, let's look at the schedule for next week along with our featured matchup. As you can see, our next matches will have Lumimosity versus Persian 1, Dignipaz versus Black Money Gaming, Genopause versus Twisted Tales, Cloud9 versus X3 Tactics, Awaptic versus Progen Rebellion, and our featured matchup of the week is going to be Fox Clan versus BDS. That's going to be a very interesting one to see. I hope that one goes all the way to Game 5. Let's start our predictions off, guys. You've had quite a bit of time to think about these. So let's just start from the top here. And we're going to go by the top of the master sheet, just so people can follow along. Let's start with Lumosity and Persian 1. So I think last week we started with fire. So I think we'll start with me this week because I don't think we've done that. And my prediction for this match, Lumosity and Persian 1, I'm giving it 3-1 to Lumosity. Love both squads. They're great squads, but Avid and Aeroax have been popping off. Levi has also been doing his part. He has been looking insane on the rotations and on the midfield challenges. Give Persian 1 some credit. I give them a game, but Lumosity is taking them down. And we're going to move straight over to Docky because Aeroax and Cookiecat cannot predict on this one.
Yeah, but what if I did anyway?
Actually,
what if he did anyway?
Cookiecat is allowed because he's the guest.
Can I phone a friend?
You can phone a friend if that friend is also a Cookiecat.
I mean, he's not really a cat, but
You are not phoning Cookie Monster.
no, I'm not phoning him.
Hold on, give me a sec.
Takes a bit to load.
Oh my god, why is he making a bit right now?
It's Cookie, like...
Oh my.
Who is he calling?
Yo, Ben. All right.
I'm confused.
Who's? Hey, Ben?
Yeah. Who's Ben?
Talking to
You just got absolutely just. Oh my god.
Well, I guess his answer is no. So is that Lumosity winning?
I was gonna ask Ben if like
Ben!
it'd be like 3-4 Persian 1 takes game, but I guess not. 2-4. Sorry, 2-4. Sorry, I'm thinking about this.
2-4.
2-4. What?
2-3. Yeah, I'm still thinking about best of sevens.
Who's Ben?
Who's Ben? You don't know Talking Ben?
You know what? I'm gonna pretend like I do. Yeah, it's yep, of course.
You know what? Ben is Ben. Either way, Persian 1 apparently losing. So, Docky, your prediction?
Yeah, I don't know how to follow that up, but I'll just keep it simple. I think the I think the Persian 1 loses 2-3. So I'll have to give it to Lumosity.
Okay. That's interesting on Cookie's part. I still have no idea who Cookie chose, but
Cookie chose Ben.
I chose Persian 1.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I said 2-3.
No, you said 4-2-4.
Yeah, I had to
But you
change
did
it
say
down because I kept
2-4.
forgetting
So
it's a best of 5, not a best of 7.
I mean, Lumosity 3-1. What else do I got?
Okay, that's fair. And Yuki, I bet you have heard of Ben. Seems like a perfect person. Also, quick shout out. Happy birthday to Corrupt.
Wait, it's
Unfortunately-
Happy birthday.
Unfortunately for you, you're not playing, or else this would be, you would get the birthday buff. But, yeah, I don't know about that one. Either way, let's move on to our next match. It's gonna be Dignipause and Black Bunny Gaming. And I'm going to say Black Bunny Gaming taking it in 4. As much as I like the new squad for Dignipause, I think the fact that it is a new squad is definitely going to hamper their performance. They're going to need some time to get their rotations down. They're going to need time to kind of get on the same page with one another, especially Yuki and Sylvie. I'm expecting to see maybe a few more double commits than we're used to seeing from Dignipause, and if any team is going to take advantage of that, it's going to be Vezik with their demos and Hammer with their unbelievable shooting. So Dignipause is good enough to take a game, for sure, but Black Bunny Gaming in 4.
I am honestly gonna have to agree exactly with you, Fade. Just BBG in 4. Like I know for a fact that this new Dignipos squad definitely has a lot of potential, but the fact that they've just been put together is, as you said, it's definitely going to, like, that chemistry still has a lot of time to, like, be created and be worked on, whereas Black Bunny Gaming has had nearly the entire season to actually work on that.
Cookie?
Ducky?
No, it's
who goes
Cookie.
next?
I'm cooking.
Okay.
Look,
Well,
look,
it's
it's
time
an
for the
abrupt
cook.
end. I don't know where I'm supposed to fill in. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, in my opinion, I think Dignipos
Ben
wins
again.
game 5 and wins it. I could call Ben, but he said
We are
no
not
to me,
calling
so I'm
Ben
not gonna
again.
call him again.
Come on, please, please,
I'm not
please,
gonna
please,
call
please,
him
please,
again.
please,
He
please.
denied me, bro. He denied me. He said, I was gonna ask him a question. I said, yo, Ben. He's like, no.
Why don't you
No.
call Tom? He's a cat.
I don't have him.
What? You don't have his number?
Of course,
Come
you have a
on.
drunk cat's number named Tom. Docky. Wait, Cookie, what was your prediction?
I'm so confused. I'm so lost.
Dignipos game 5.
Good.
Okay. Docky, go ahead and predict.
Who are we predicting again?
Tom or
Dignipos
Ben?
and Black Bunny Gaming.
Okay. Oh boy, that's a tough one. It's so hard to know just because. So I want to say Dig. Actually, no. I will say Dignipos just because. I've supported. I think RuneSki is able to put together a decent team, and it seems like their roster changes were pretty amicable, at least from what I've heard. So I don't think there's going to be much tension, which I think benefits because that's always roster changes always have like that air of tension, obviously always, and so if them not having that, I think benefits them. I say they win it, but I say they win. I'll say Dignipos in 5.
And Fire, you're the last prediction for this one.
Oh no. I don't want to be that guy. I don't.
it.
But I think I'm gonna need to. So you know how like some teams they have a roster that you can just they just click right from the beginning, right? You can just you can throw them in the microwave. They're in there for a minute and then they pop out and they're good to go. Dignipos, I think we're gonna need to bust out the crock pot for them, okay? They're gonna need to sit there for a while. They're gonna need to sit there and stew. You can't rush it. So Black Bunny sweep.
That's crazy
that's
considering
me.
they're gonna be on high heat and cook Black Bunny
Crazy.
Gaming in game 5. I'm being, crazy.
Okay, next game. No, here's the thing. I scrimmed against Black Bunny today with Kiki, and they played pretty well. I'm going to be honest. They played pretty darn well, and I think they're playing better with Kiki than they were with Sam. So I'll leave it at that, and we'll go next game.
Yeah. And quick disclaimer for people wondering, because obviously I did have to record some matches before the podcast today. I wrote all my predictions down at about 4 p.m. So like 4 or so hours before any of the matches today were played. So I'm just reading mine off. So yeah,
bias.
I'm not, there's no bias and I'm not rigging the
Spoilers.
game. No spoilers.
Yes.
But up next, guys, is going to be Fox Clan and BDS, our featured matchup of the week. And I went 3-2 Fox Clan. Obviously, I'm going to rep my boys. BDS is looking really good, so obviously a game 5. But I have been proven time and time again that Fox Clan has the ice, and if they go into an OT, they are going to win it. So Fox Clan, do me proud, win all your OTs, and take game 5 to an OT so it's a guaranteed win.
Yeah, that's still insane to me that they've had a 100% win rate in overtime so far. That is absolutely insane to think about. But Fade, you predicted a game 5, right?
Yes, of course.
All right. I don't think that one's going to overtime. I think BDS is going to take that game 5. Like, I feel like both teams are definitely very, very good, but BDS, I feel, has just kind of been on a tear lately. Like, they've been playing so very well, and especially after that win from last week, they're gonna be just riding that high, and Fox Clan is gonna have to watch out.
I'm gonna take it on a roller coaster.
Oh God.
I'll get the
Game
popcorn.
one.
Hold on.
Game 1. I think we go into OT. Right? Game 1, we go into OT. And for the first time ever, Fox Clan finna lose that OT.
Oh.
They finna lose that OT. Right?
Whoa.
Then, the second one, they just barely missed that OT. BDS gets a second game. And out of nowhere, reverse sweep.
Oh.
Fox Clan.
I like
So the
it.
team
I like
that
the
reverse swept
storyline.
gets reverse sweeped. Interesting.
Cookiecat, the maker of all the storylines. I like it.
We should hire him for the script making team.
You don't want
Wait,
that.
what? No, wait. That's supposed to be a
You,
secret.
you don't want that.
Wait, what? Oh,
Arrow, we weren't
hold-
supposed to
hold on.
leak
wait,
that.
Wait, hold on.
Come on, Arrow. This is what happens when you run on an atom. Anyway, Docky.
Oh, is
How
it my-
about them Cowboys? Okay, what?
Oh, wait, is it my turn?
Yes.
Yes.
I think BDS wins that 3-0.
Oh.
Ooh, hot take of the year.
Disrespect on my man Javian.
Bold prediction. So here's the thing. These are the two teams that have the ice, you know? But here's the thing. I haven't seen Fox Clan have quite as much ice as my person over there in Rue the Fuzzy hitting that huge Game 4 goal to send it into overtime last week. I haven't seen that much ice from anybody outside of Rue the Fuzzy. And because of that, and that alone, BDS in 5.
I understand. My only rebuttal to that is Cosmo Cloud, OT, Game 4 Protogen Rebellion. That's all I'm gonna
True.
say. That's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, very fair.
Same amount of ice.
So shout out to the, to the, I say lower rank sounds so mean, but like the players stepping up and playing above their rank.
Yeah.
Help the teams win. Obviously, yeah.
I think they do. I think they do step up a lot. We're gonna have to see who steps up the most in that match. Up next, Gentle Paws versus Twisted Tails. I went Gentle Paws in 4. I definitely think Twisted Tails has what it takes to bring it to them, but the thing is with Pictus, like if we were still talking Gentle Paws with Melon, I'd give that to Twisted Tails. I think this would be the series that they start popping off and they start showing their stuff, and I think they're still gonna do it. I think they're gonna show us some good stuff. But Pictus, with how they played last week and how they're already gelling with the team, I think it's going to be a lot to deal with, especially for Liska, who did not necessarily have the best week last week. I expect a really good performance from the team, but I got to give the edge to Gentle Paws. Like 3-1.
I gotta give the edge to Gentle Paws as well, but that is, I will say that is tentatively, because like I've been saying, I've said it before, I'll say it again, like this Twisted Tails roster definitely has a lot of potential, there's just a couple big things that they need to work through, but once they get those, I feel like they're just going to become unstoppable, but they haven't yet shown that they've quite gotten those things down yet. And just for that reason, I'm going to have to just 100% agree with you, Fade, going 3-1 to Genopause, especially due to that addition of Pictus, because Genopause is just looking so strong.
Pictus or no Pictus? I think, all due respect to you, Fire, I think this is the time that Twisted Tales finally finds some traction, believe it or not. And I'm not giving them an easy game. I think we're going to see a repeat of the past 2 matches that we've seen, except for this time in Game 5, they take them to OT and rock out in victory in a 2-minute OT.
I'm gonna keep the watch counting then.
Game 5, Twisted Tales.
Dang. Is it my turn now?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless you want me to call Ben or something.
I mean, we
We're
could
done
ask what
calling
his opinion
Ben.
is on it.
Ben.
No, call
Call
him.
Ben. don't call Ben.
Honestly, it would be kind of crazy if you did.
Doc, you just make your prediction before they call.
I try. I mean, like, Cookie literally just stole my script out of my hands. Because I was literally going to say the same thing. I think we've seen Twisted Tales push really good teams to Game 5 and just come up just short at the last possible second. I think they're probably going to be able to do that again. And I think that I have faith that they'll be able to pull out that win in Game 5. So I think it'll be close because I think that Genopause team is good. But yeah, I do have faith that I think that Twisted Tail's going to be able to persevere in Game 5 to take a win.
Alright, I'd love to see it. I'm sure the only person that wouldn't love to see that right now is Fire. But we'll have to see what the match has for us. Time for our second to last match, and it's time to see how much faith that these guys actually have in their host. X3 Tactics versus Cloud9. Aralax, who you got?
That is difficult. Because, once again,
Staring.
X3... Wait, what?
Staring at you.
Why? Oh, hi, Fade.
I'll give you a ram stick if you ignore him.
Ignore who?
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, X3 versus Cloud9 is honestly a very, very interesting matchup from what I've seen from these two teams. Because X3, very, very good on both ends of the field, especially on that offense with Corpse mechanics. It's terrifying, safe to say. But the defense from Cloud9 that was showcased last week was nothing short of stellar. And I feel that X3 is going to actually have a lot of trouble getting goals past that C9 defense. But I feel like, especially from, like, not only from the mechanics, but just from the constant pressure that I've seen X3 put on, especially personally, because, like, I had the pleasure of playing them, I think week 2, I believe, and they just put on so much pressure. It is very, very difficult to deal with, and I feel like even the best defenses are going to crack under that pressure. So I am going to have to give that one, sorry Fade, to X3 in 4.
I don't think the mouse is happy with you.
I mean, when is the mouse happy with me?
So anyways, Paige, you know I love you.
That's gay.
Wow.
Very gay.
That's...
Family friendly.
What's that?
As you were
Like-
saying, Cookie.
Like, I think with your pickup factual data here, I think you could probably make it far. However, I guarantee you, in one of these matches, Corrupt's gonna hit some kind of cool mechanic on all three of y'all, and it's gonna go in your net. But I got X3 tactics in game 4.
Okay, Docky.
It's really hard to, I think, predict against X3 right now. Unfortunately, even as as well as your team has been playing. So unfortunately, I have to agree with the last two picks, and I'll pick it in game 5 though. So I think X3 in 5.
So both these teams look pretty good in my eyes. Here's the thing. Right around the same time in Season 0, we saw the matchup of Gentle Paws versus Black Bunny. Week 3 of last season. And the thing about that was the entire storyline up to that was best offense versus best defense. We all know how that went. Black Bunny took it in 4. Now, I think Cloud9 is pretty comparable to Gentle Paws, considering the how the leagues look from last season compared to this season. But X3 doesn't look quite as dominant as Black Bunny did last season, which is why I think that Cloud9 is going to take one more game than Gentle Paws took off of Black Bunny last season, and that they're going to force a game 5, but I think X3 just has a bit too much firepower, and it's going to be X3 in 5.
Okay then. Sounds like everyone here is kind of fake, but it is what it is. All I'm gonna say to Firestreak is that week 5 of season 0, the perfect team, the team that was 4-0, got beaten. Actually, they were probably 5-0 at that point. But that being
They
said,
were 4-0.
yeah, King Court beat Black Bunny, so
Right.
we're looking at that. I'm looking at that storyline going into week 5. Anyway, guys, it's time for the last match of the day. It's going to be Awaptic Gaming versus Protogen Rebellion, and I'll start out this one. And I have Awaptic taking it in 5. I think Gala's going to pop off. I think that the team's going to pop off. I think they look good. Protogen Rebellion, they didn't show up that well last week. I'm going to need to see some performance from them before I can give them my prediction. And also, to be completely honest, I just want to see where Turtles is going to have to move to next. So, Awaptic in 5.
I mean, that is a completely fair reason for that. But this one is also fairly difficult for me because Awaptic is a very, very good team, like pretty much always, especially with the addition of Gala. Like, that team is definitely starting to become a powerhouse in its own right. Protogen Rebellion, while not having that great of a performance last week, a lot of potential. The only question is that potential going to be shown next week? I feel personally that they've had a lot of time to kind of figure things out. I feel that they're gonna start to figure things out, but Awaptic is just, once again, they have had a lot of time to work through things, and with the addition of Gala, they've just become like a really, really good team. So I'm going to have to go Awaptic in 5.
Not me muting my mic for background stuff, and then forgetting. Like, honestly, y'all know how I am, right?
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for asking. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
How are you doing? You doing pretty good?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, that's okay.
How's Ben doing?
Look, honestly, y'all got a lot of like unfaithful, casters up in here. You know what I'm saying?
Unfaithful?
Like, I mean, you could just go for a Loptic gaming. You could, but like, I think this is the week. I think this is the week. Turtles enjoying that nice view, that nice beautiful view, looking down what looks like a GTA reference at this point, because
It
so
is a
many
GTA
people have seen it.
reference.
You can just literally look at it and just assume it's GTA.
No,
But
I can't believe
I
they
think
built
he's
an
gonna
entire
enjoy it.
city based on GTA. That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. How do you do that?
I know.
But I think this is the week. I think this is the week. They get a little squirrely in game 2. They obviously win game 1. They get a little squirrely in game 2. They lose game 3. Okay? Hold on. But in OT. Now they recollect themselves. They might have lost that OT. They did really well in that game 3. There's just that one little mistake goal. They recorrect it. Turtles comes out swinging in game 4. They win that one. And then they win game 5.
See, I have
Give
no doubt
me
about Turtles.
Protogen Rebellion, game 5.
I have no doubt Turtles is going to be swinging. I just have to wonder if it's going to be on the opponent's net or his own.
Oh.
Don't do my boy like that. Don't do my boy like that.
Turtles
If he
knows I love
loses
him, it's
again,
fine.
he's not gonna have fun.
Turtles knows I love him. It's fine. Fire,
Not,
what's your prediction?
not gonna lie, you all are boring.
Wow.
You guys all have no faith. So here's the thing. I think last week was kind of a fluke for Protogen Rebellion. I've chose them every single week, and they are the sole reason I'm under 500 right now. Fully admittedly. They are the only reason I'm below 500 on my caster predictions right now. But let me tell you,
500.
you got
500?
on
500?
my predictions.
He's actually at 500 though.
Yeah, I'm at 500.
But you're not under.
I would be above 500 if it wasn't for these guys.
Ah, okay.
These silly goobers. But here's the thing. That team has I think last week was a fluke, to be honest. Other than last week, they've gotten better and better every week. Last week they kind of not gonna lie, they kind of didn't look the best. But you know what? It's okay. It was 1 week. I'm going to assume that none of them got any sleep for 24 hours before the match. And
I did hear that Static had to do push-ups.
yeah,
True.
Static got the push-up nerf, guys. That's why. And that's why. I mean, Owaptic is a very good team. They beat my team. They're a very, very good team. But my guys over at Protogen Rebellion, Static and Turtles and Heavenly, they just got the best mentals in the game. So Protogen Rebellion, I'm gonna get a little bit wild, a little bit crazy, and say in 4.
Crazy.
Okay. Now here's the question. Do we threaten Static with more push-ups if he loses to make him play harder? Is that the strat?
No, I
Maybe.
think the strat is threaten him with sit-ups this time, because clearly the push-ups were too easy for him.
You're right.
So it's
You're
gotta be the
right.
sit-ups this time.
Okay, well, I guess that's a little secret into what Protogen should do for Static. What you do for Turtles, that's up to you. I mean, we've kind of figured out, they win this
Free
time.
turtles,
then
bro. Free turtles.
I think if they win this week, that means Turtles recalibration has been effective, and we should just do it more. But either way, I think we're all just trying to see some great Rocket League. And with that, guys, that's going to be the end of the Rocket First Draft League podcast for Week 4. Want to thank Arilax, Daki, and Firestreak for joining me. And of
Can we call
course,
Ben
our-
again?
well, here's the thing.
Please.
Cookiecat, it's time for our favorite segment. You're our guest. Thank you for being our guest. If you want to make any shout-outs, and I mean any shout-outs, go ahead.
Subscribe to my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/vibingcookiecat. Tier 1 sub gets you a bunch of emails. They're very cute. Come on, let's go. Let's see it. Anyways, I would like to shout out my mom. I would like to shout out my dad. I would like to shout out my team. I would like to shout out Ben. Fuck that guy. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, well, with that, guys, we are done for the night. Firestreak has timed out Cookiecat for 10 seconds because of self-promotion. So we're going to leave it at that. And once again, guys, y'all have a good night. We will see you on Saturday at 3 p.m. EST for the start of League Play week number 5. See you guys later. This is where you say bye, guys.
Bye.